Alright, part 6. We've covered sight, we've covered hearing. Now we're going to cover the rest of the senses, starting with the ability to taste. Taste involves gustation and taste buds. Gustation is the sense of taste, and taste buds are the sensory organs in the mouth that contain the receptors for taste. Stimulated taste buds send signals to the thalamus, and then the frontal lobe of the brain, which produces the experience of taste. Here's a graphic from the book that lays out how this process works, from the consumption of food to the sensing of the flavors in the taste buds, and then sending that information on through to the brain. There are 5 basic taste sensations. Every taste experience is composed of a mixture of these 5 basic qualities: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, which is Japanese for savory or yummy. This one can be stimulated by the use of MSG, monosodium glutamate. How are we able to smell? Well, this is called olfaction. That is the sense of smell. There's a basic process. Odorants pass into the nose and nasal cavity, then contact a thin layer of tissue embedded with smell receptors called the olfactory epithelium. The olfactory epithelium is a thin layer of tissue within the nasal cavity that contains the receptors for smell. Then it goes on to the olfactory bulb, the brain center for smell located below the frontal lobes. Information about whether a smell is pleasant or unpleasant is processed in the brain's prefrontal cortex. The intensity of a smell is processed in brain areas that are also involved in emotion and memory. There's a handy graphic from the book that lays out the ability to smell from the particles entering the nasal cavity to the membrane and then converted into an electrical impulse for the brain to interpret. Pheromones are chemicals released by animals, probably including humans, that trigger physiological or behavioral reactions in other animals and insects. Specialized receptors in the nasal cavity respond to the presence of pheromones. How are we able to feel touch and pain? Haptic sense. This is the sense of touch. Touch conveys sensations of temperature, pressure, pain, and where our limbs are in the space around us. Kinesthetic sense is the perception of the positions in space around us of the movements of our bodies and our limbs. The skin contains sensory receptors for touch and pain. Anything that makes contact with our skin provides tactile stimulation. For sensing temperature, there appear to be receptors for warmth and receptors for cold. The integration of various signals in higher level mental processes produces haptic experiences. Here's a handy graphic of the book that lays out that process. Alright, pain is a part of a warning system that stops you from contributing activities that may harm yourself. There are 2 kinds of nerve fibers that have been identified for pain. Fast fibers have been identified for sharp, immediate pain. They are activated by strong physical pressure and temperature extremes. The other are slow fibers for chronic, dull, and steady pain. They are activated by chemical changes in tissue when skin is damaged. How we experience touch, the sense of pain. Stimuli. When you touch something painful, you register pain with two types of receptors. As I mentioned before, there are fast fibers and slow fibers for the different types of pain. The gate control theory. Pain involves biological, psychological, and cultural factors. When pain receptors are activated, a neural gate opens in the spinal cord and allows pain signals to be carried by nerve fibers. Larger sensory nerve fibers can fire and close the gate, thus preventing pain perception. According to the gate control theory of pain, neural gates in the spinal cord allow signals through. Those gates can be closed when information about touch is being transmitted, for example, by rubbing a sore arm or by distraction. Alright, the gate control theory has led to certain drug treatments. Ibuprofen, acetaminophen, Novocaine, anesthetics, Tylenol, all that stuff. That's how those treatments work. They close that gate. Cognitive states of distraction, positive mood, and relaxation can close the pain gate. So the drug treatment also closes the pain gate. Some mental processes, such as worrying about or focusing on the painful stimulus, seem to open the pain gate. And that concludes the coverage of all 5 senses and sensation and perception.